going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets. We're checking back in. We got our On the Dot Travelers Championship coming to you guys live here on this beautiful Wednesday evening. We went a day later than we normally do. We said that last week on the stream since Bet with the Boys, aka Teaser Nation, is traveling, I believe. So yeah, we are here for the Travelers. We'll quickly recap the phenomenal U.S. Open. That was entertaining. That's exactly what you want a damn major to look like, right there. And we did have an outright that hit live, not from the show last week, but Bet with the Boys teaser absolutely got. Was it 11-1 on Bryson?
Yep, Friday afternoon. I think if you're in the Discord, you should follow now. We hit the third of the year, so we'll count it as a stream as well because I know a lot of people are in the Discord as well from here. I think so.
I like it. Yeah. So Bryson 11-1, always we had a talk last week on the stream about Brooks to Bryson, and I couldn't have been further wrong. And you were like, dude, it's Bryson. And then I remember one of our comments was like, I think this is a big BD week, which is Bryson DeChambeau. So kudos to both you guys for crushing that. I thought maybe Rory had it, but man, that was a incredible choke job. It was hard to watch. It was Bryson at one point, then Rory, and then Rory again. I was like, oh, just brutal.
The 16th hole putt, I think, was the gimme. I mean, that has to go in. I think people are giving a lot of slack on the final hole. I would say that's a tough putt. I mean, it was a downhill slider. I don't think that was a gimme, but the one on 16 was, that was an all-time choke. Still looking for, that elusive fifth major, I believe. And that's a lot of close calls since 2011 or whatever it was. But it was
left to right putts as a right-handed putter are just a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Right to left, breed that all day long. But left to right, especially that short, no way. But I don't blame him there. It was very, very tough. But the one that one, I couldn't believe it. That one was just absolute disaster. And then now he wants to take a couple weeks off. So I don't blame him.
I would too. I don't blame him either. That's a tough way to lose. And I mean, just all the pressure that's been on him. He had that one in the bag. But I mean, it was a good week. I know Scheffler had a rough week. I know the one time I decided to bet him, it was kind of stupid, I guess, looking in hindsight, to kind of bet him. We know you and I have been saying it. There's no point in betting him.
It's always stupid to bet him unless you win.
And I fell into it. I fell into it, but I'm never doing it again. So,
but I mean, that was the first time I've probably played him in more lineups than I should have in DFS. And I was, I probably was late to the party and I shouldn't have done it, but it kind of burned me. But I mean, we hit the Xander top 10. That's just free money at this point. If it's ever plus money, just take it. And then we had Matsuyama came back, roaring back, plus 330, top 10. And then we had Fleetwood plus 130. And I was so pissed off at Cam Smith last week. After every round, I left a bunch out there. Yeah, I left a bunch out there. Yeah, I left a bunch. It's like, we know that, so don't do that.
Right. No, he was frustrating. I know I had Fleetwood with you. That was a great Sunday round he put together to kind of essentially backdoor top 20. Morikawa top 10 was a rough loss. Bryson, obviously, top 10 easy. And then the hit of the week for me, I know VIP had it, was Russell Henley at 8-1 top 10.
Yeah.
Kind of just backdoored it with an all-time great round Sunday there with the 3 under. So I think it was a great week for both of us, I would say. So hopefully I'll be boots on the ground Friday, Saturday for the Travelers. So that'll be fun. I'm excited to see the course. I know it's a pretty good one. It's a small track, so I'm excited for it. And then hopefully we get another good finish here this week.
Yeah, we should have a little birdie fest here. So let's transition here to the Travelers. And if this is your first time tuning in, we'd love to hear from you guys. We had a bunch of interaction last week, so that was always nice to keep the show moving along. So just make sure you guys shoot us a comment if you guys are on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, and if you're on X. So make sure you guys let us know you're here. We'd appreciate it that you guys keep tuning in week after week. we just do this because we like talking golf for about 30 minutes every Tuesday or Wednesday. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys do, hit that thumbs up on YouTube. And if you guys do want some more additional premium picks, the Discord below is where you should find both of us right there. So make sure you guys show some love if you can. All right. So Travelers this week, we have, I believe this is another signature event, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, another signature event. Shortened field. What we've known on these signature events are usually that heavy favorites are going to win.
Yeah.
Right after a U.S. Open, though, I don't know. I have my outright card going, and I have some more long shots than I probably should. With the data that we've kind of accumulated over the signature events that we've seen, but I think it's a wide open tournament in my opinion right here, just with the mentality and usually 15 to 20 on wins this tournament. All right, so what do you think? Let's go over the course that you're going to be walking, and let's go over some stats and attributes that you're looking for in these golfers.
Yeah. So really, this is just another one of those short courses. It barely touches 7,000 yards, par 70. It's kind of like what we talked about throughout the year with a couple courses we see every year. It's position off the tees key. See a lot of these shorter guys excel here. The key here is really the short to mid irons. I think proximity from 125 to 175 is where you're going to get most of the approaches. Pretty much a birdie fest, like you stated. You're going to have to make 10 to 15 footers to kind of keep your distance or pull ahead. So that's a major thing, kind of making putts and putting your approach within 20 feet here. Heavy on strokes gained off the tee as well. There's a lot of I would say there's some water here on the back nine. So yeah, you got to be kind of accurate off the tee. And then once again, heavy emphasis on strokes gain approach. So really strokes gain off the tee, it's going to be Scheffler, Xander, Aubert, Hovland, McIlroy, or he's not in it, but Spieth, Morikawa, Theegala, and Clark are the top 10. And then the key this week's the birdie and specific distances. So 8 holes are between 400 and 450 yards. So I put a massive on par 4, 400 to 450 in the model. So that's one of the key stats I kind of looked at as well. So yeah, really just to kind of put it all in a nutshell, players who excel from 125 to 175 and players who excel from 400 to 450 yard par 4s. And then I would say course history also plays in a fact because we see Brian Harman play here every year and, essentially top 10. So that's another big key is course history.
Yeah, I mean, strokes gained approach is a very, very nice key to any formula. I mean, you got Scotty, Connors, Rory, Xander, Finau, Siwoo Kim, Hideki, JT, Hovland, and Straka, but top 10 right now. So in that, you can always go there and then filter from there and see who is more green than red around everything else. Again, I mean, I'm probably going to be off Victor again just because he's 9th in strokes gained approach, but at the same time, guy can't putt. His strokes around the green. It's the same story, a different day. And if he surprises me, he surprises me. But then I start taking him in some matchups down the road. But not going to fool me again. One guy that I mean, you can't go wrong with Xander. And then I think another Corey Connors week. I think it's another Corey Connors week for me. So we'll get into that. We got we'll go with our placements. We'll go with outrights, and then we'll go over tournament matchups. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. Do you got top 20s and top 10s, or did you flirt with? I don't think any top 40s this week, right?
No top 40s. I did do one top 10 and a couple top 20s. So if you want to start 10s, I'll roll those off.
I got I got 3 top 20s. So
all right, we'll go 20s first. Go ahead. Yeah.
Let's see. Let me throw them up. All right. So first one, what we got? It's going to be a Finau week too for me. He was the cover boy, and I think he's rolling a little bit more than people give him some credit for. He was sticking around last week
Mm-hmm.
I would say surprisingly to me. I think he surprised me more. But I mean, last 5 tournaments, strokes gained approach 4.2, strokes gained total, 6.1.
Yep.
He has been playing very, very golf since the Houston Open, 255, 12th, 52nd, 18th, 17th, and then 8th and a 3 last week at the US Open. So he's trending huge. I mean, last 4 tournaments alone, 8, 5.3, 7.3, and then 15.1 strokes gained total. So, I mean, he's absolutely crushing the, approaches, and he's, hitting the damn ball flush, which is always nice. Strokes gained putting, that's pretty variable. So, but I really, really like him this week. He's got some, he's played here pretty decently. Let's see, Travelers, 13th, and then he's got a couple miscuts in there. But I mean, from there, I'll take my chances in the way he's playing. And I like Finau this week. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I like him. I was gonna say I was close to taking his top 20, but he didn't make it. But yeah, there's a lot of people on his outright, which I don't like. I like the safe top 20 because with him, it's like you mentioned all the approach and stuff. It's still he has to make the putts within 15 feet. So give yourself a little leeway with top 20. Obviously he's gonna miss a lot of those, but he's still probably gonna be in contention. So I think that's a great play.
Mm-hmm. You got a top 20?
Yeah, so my first one I'll go with I actually have 2 of them. More of a long shot this week, and then I'll get to kind of more of my favorite. Just a long shot kind of flyers, Ben Griffin at 3-1. I have a little bit kind of stats to back it up wise, but it's kind of more of a gut feeling to me. Just kind of he's been playing some good golf. We saw him RBC Canadian kind of be in contention there, but he does pop out in the model. Top 15 in my model I made. He's top 20 in the par 4 400 to 450 category. He actually putts pretty well from 5 to 15 feet, and then proximity across the boards, top 30 I believe in the model. And this guy can make birdies in bunches. We've seen him go pretty low, so I like 3-1 on that for him to get a top 20 this week.
Man. Oddball. Let me see what his is for DFS. Griffin.
It's more of a risky play. I don't know. It's a gut feeling, and the model's telling me he has been playing well. A couple good finishes recently. So
3% DK sleeper right there. 3%.
Yeah, I think it could be a sleeper.
My next one here is a guy that I've played. If I played Corey Connors, I'm more than likely to play this guy. And if you guys have watched the stream, you would know this is going to be Tom Kim. Tom Kim right here. Yeah. He's been an absolute machine as of late. He has basically 4 top 26 finishes out of his last 5. And I know I'm taking a top 20 here, but on a low scoring event, he usually goes low. And it's a short track. You got to make sure you strike the ball well, get it close. That's exactly what Tom Kim can do. That's what he's known to do. And one guy that I would not be surprised if he won this tournament. I'm not going to take an outright with him, but I do like him overall. And I think for DFS, he's a great play. Let me see what his ownership is at. Right, 100. 11. I think he might even go back to under 10%. So play Tom Kim this week with some confidence. You can kind of build around him in some of your lineups as well. And then what's your last one?
Yeah, I was looking at Tom Kim as well, but this is kind of a pivot to him in that range, and it's Brian Harman plus 130. I mean, there's not really much to say. It's like if you had to pick a course out for Brian Harman to succeed at, it is this course. Like it generally is this course, and we've seen it over the years. I think he has 5 top 10s. Obviously, he's great. 400 to 450 par 4s, he's 10th. Putting from 5 to 10 feet, he's 3rd. And then proximity-wise, from 100 to 175, top 30 in both categories. So, I mean, there's not really much else to say. Hopefully he doesn't break the, top 20 or record he has in a row right now at this course. So I like him to contend as well. He's going to be just one of my outrights as well, just throwing it out there now. So
and I'm gonna double up with another Kim. I'm gonna go Siwoo Kim. Another ball striker. He doesn't have great course history, but he's got a really, really good, 50 or 15th and 32nd last week. He didn't do well with strokes gained approach last week, but it's around the green is what I'm looking at here for the play at plus 130 for the top 20, 2.1 and then 2.8 the last several, and then he also has over 1.2 on strokes gained on this putting too. So his short game is there, and before the missed cut at the PGA Championship, I mean, he was rolling. He had a 30th at the Master, 18th, 13th, and a 16th at Wells Fargo. So this guy can play. And I was surprised to see him at plus 130. I was hoping to get like plus 150 to plus 170. But I think a lot of love this week from the books there at plus 130. I think it's a good number still to get him at with the top 20. All right. We got – how many top 10s you got?
I think I'm just going to roll one, and it's kind of just a fear of missing out type play for me.
Oh, boy.
And I'll just roll right into it. It's not a fear of missing out on a top. It's everyone has him outright, but I just want to go a little safer because I don't think he wins, and that's Patrick Cantlay at plus 190.
That's exactly who I have. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we might both fall into the trap, but I don't know. It's usually you want to fade guys who've grinded on a weekend at a major, and I think he was probably that guy you would want to fade, but I don't know how you can kind of look past it. I think he kind of found something last week. We kind of saw Homa do that at the Masters and then kind of, not play well at RBC, but I think it's different. Obviously, Cantlay has great form here as well. I believe he has best strokes gained total out of the field. He gains 40 here over his years past. 4th, 13th, 13th, 11th, and 15th his past 5 years. One of those he was batting Xander in 2022. He could have won that one, so could have a win here. But in the model, proximity-wise, he's good. If he just gets that putter rolling, we kind of saw glimpses of it last week. Kind of fell short on the weekend, but that's kind of expected. Didn't expect him to win a major. So, I like the top 10 at plus 190. I think there's a lot of value there, almost close to 2-1 there. So.
Yeah, and this is the prototypical trap. Like we're falling right into it, but we're doing it. We both said we are not on him last week. There's no shot in hell he does well, yada, yada, yada. And then he absolutely plays one of the best 4 rounds of his whole entire career. And then now we go to the Travelers where he has awesome course history, which is very, very, but it's exactly what you want. And he just came off of a top 5 at a major, and you're like, okay, this is a no-brainer play. Absolutely no-brainer. And sure as shit, we're both going to fall for it, and he's going to miss the cut. That's exactly what's going to happen here.
Basically what you're saying.
I'm bracing myself for that. Yeah,
he's going to miss a cut that's not even a cut. Or I don't know if they're doing the cut this week, but yeah.
Yeah, if it is, it's like 2 or 3 people, but he's going to be one of those 2.
He's going to, So, I agree with you. I think it's a little bit of a trap. I'm just being a little safer. I do think the outright's a trap. I could see him in contention or maybe backdooring one, but we'll see. I don't know.
Right. So maybe I would think a good thing to look at if he does get off to a slow start and he doesn't necessarily, if he's playing pretty, okay, and you can get maybe a plus number at a top 20 somehow. That'd be a great way to look at Patrick Cantlay this week. But I'm going to take his top 10 as well, pre-tournament at plus 190. So I'm right there with you with the trap. I'm right there with you as well that he ain't going to win.
Right. No, he's winning now.
Right. So I'll go to my other top, and we're going to go with my boy Corey Connors, and he's just been an absolute machine. You got to play him. Got to play him. If I'm playing Tom, I'm playing Corey Connors. Last 5 tournaments, 4.6 strokes gains on approach, 7.5 total. Tee to green, which is even better at 6.9. So, I mean, the guy is absolutely flushing the ball. And you've got his last 3 tournaments, let's do 4 tournaments, 26th, 6th, 20th, and 9th. So, I mean, out of those, and there was a 13th at the Wells Fargo, I probably played his top 20 on 4 of those. So I'm going to go roll with it. But I think a top 10 at this course for him is doable. Obviously, he got it last year with a 9th finish, but he does have 2 missed cuts. Reason here with the positive course history. I'm all about Corey Connors, and a good number here at plus 275. We've hit Ludberg plus 330, Hideki plus 330, and plus 275 long shot here for Connor's top 10. So let's make it 3 in a row. Some nice long shots here. And then the last top 10 I got is a guy. It's just one of those guys. I just don't like to play, but I have to play him at the same time. And that would be Morikawa. I don't think he's going to win, but I think it's a good number. Xander last week. Like if it was plus money, I was going to take it. It was either Morikawa or if it was Xander, top 10 plus 100 or more, I was going to take it. And this week it was Morikawa. And he's got, 3 of the last 4 top 5 finishes. And I think at the U.S. Open, he just was, his putter was actually really good. He gained 4 strokes on putting, and it was more approach, which is crazy to me, as he just didn't do as well normally what he normally would do. I mean, the last several he was 5.1, 4.1, 3.2, and then at the U.S. Open it was 1. So
he was bad on Friday's round. That's what held him back. I think he went 4 over. I mean, he got a T14, so he was right there. It was just that one round.
Yeah, but I'm going back to him here as it's hard to find somebody in better form. I know he doesn't have the greatest course history, but I think with the way he's hitting the ball and the way a lot of models are reading it, I mean, and especially DK ownership. I mean, he's pushing around 30% DK ownership because he's at 9,800. Could it be donkey chalk? Maybe, but I don't know. Really, really think a good event here for Morikawa. And that's why I like the top 10, but I wouldn't take an outright on him. All right. Any other thoughts on your top 10 before we go to some outrights?
I mean, honestly, the Morikawa play, I do. What was the price you got him at?
He was plus 115.
Okay. I might look into that as well because, I mean, he's been unreal the past. I mean, we talked about it last week before the U.S. Open. I mean, since the Masters, it's all top 20s, and he's been unreal, like you were saying. So, I like that play. I might hop on. We'll see about that. But I'll just talk about a couple maybe other guys, top 10 that I'm not playing, but I do like. If you go more of you always could maybe ride Keegan here. That's one long shot, 4-1. You could always ride there. Aubert is a good one as well. Don't mind him. Those are just a couple other guys I wouldn't mind people hopping on. So,
all right, and I have a very, very long shot outright, which you're going to sprinkle this one, but it's your boy. So I want to get your opinion on this guy. I fell on him. I normally do not play him, but what do you think about Tom Hoge this week?
Okay. What is he at?
He's at 90-1.
90-1. You know what? Now he's even at 80. You beat.
Oh, he's at 80 now.
Look at you.
I saw I was on FanDuel there.
I mean, honestly, like it's not like a bad play. Like I don't think he wins. Obviously, it's a long shot, but you never know. I mean, he should play well here. His proximity's unreal. He's top 5 in all categories, right? Like that's what Tom Hoge is. Like,
yep.
He's the most inconsistent player, I would say. So if he has one of those weeks, I think you might have him in contention. So I mean, he pops out on everything. So I don't hate the play, just going based off stats.
Yeah, he doesn't have that great of course history. I mean,
with him it doesn't even matter.
37th or 35th. His best finish here is 35th, but you never know. And I like you said, he's top 5 in a lot of those categories that we're looking at for a 90-1, 80-1 number. I mean, I think it's worth a sprinkle for sure.
Yeah,
worth a sprinkle. Mm-hmm. Don't obviously unload on that, but it's definitely worth. I think his number has some pretty good value here. Yeah. And if maybe he does do well and take a live top 20 and get a better number there and bet a little bit more heavy on that. Who you got for your first outright?
So the headliner outright this week is talked about him last week. I don't know what to do with him. I think I'm getting a good understanding of how this guy operates now and how he plays, and that's Ludwig Aubert. So I like 60. I got 16-1. I think it's 14 now. Same thing. I mean, I think there's a stat that kind of popped out to me. I think he's third or second in strokes gained short courses. So he actually plays short course as well. Third in par fours, 350 to 400. 23rd in 400 to 450. His proximity, he's top 5 in 150 to 175, top 20, 125 to 150. Putts pretty well from 10 to 15 feet. So that was kind of a stat I was intrigued by. 15th in that. So good strokes gain approach usually from him. And if he's making putts, he's going to be there. I think it's kind of one of those weeks where we've seen him contend here at some majors and he just can't really finish the job at the Memorial, or last week he kind of was a no-show on the weekend. I think here, obviously, easier course. I could see him running away with this one and just getting one of those, signature wins.
And I was kicking myself last week when I saw him come out hot in the round one. I was like, no, God dang it. I just said on the stream that it was like one of the last things we talked about it with outrights. And I was like, yeah, I'm usually on him. I've been on him, and I'm just not going to get to him this week. And I was like, if this guy wins,
Yeah.
I was trying to find a live outright number that I liked, and then round 3 happened, and he was just dog shit.
He was done, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, he's done. And then Bryson and Rory took off, and I was like, okay, I'm not taking anything then.
Yeah,
and so
okay.
My eyes were on Ludwig, and your eyes are on Bryson, so I should have just stayed away.
Yeah.
What with you? But yeah, I don't mind him. He's a robot guy. Absolutely does no wrong ever, except for that Friday, it was Saturday. It was Saturday. Yeah. So yeah, I'm good with Ludwig. What did you get? 12 or 14?
I got 16 yesterday, but now it's down to 14, I believe.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely lower now, and I think he's one of the most popular in DFS. Let's see, he's only at 22, so you got Scotty, Morikawa, and then you got Ludwig coming in right underneath them. So, all right, well, I'll give you another outright here. A guy that I'm usually, excuse me, not on very often, but I was just looking at his recent tournaments, and I mean, you got Wells Fargo 13, the PGA Championship miscut, RBC 10, the Memorial 15, and then a top 10 last week at the U.S. Open. And this is a guy that usually burns me. No pun intended, but I'm going to go with Sam Burns.
Okay.
And he's going to burn me again. I already know it because I'm never on him. And when I'm on him, he's going to get last. So bet him with caution, but I just like this number a lot. I mean, he's at plus 3,000, and he's the same as like Finau, and he's the same as I think Tom Kim. Let me check real quick. He's in that. Let's see, just here. We got Finau, Burns, Thigala, Henry, Connors, and those are all plus 3,000. And I'm sitting there like all of these guys this week, and I think Sam Burns has the best outright potential out of those guys. So I'm rolling Burns. If you want to do a first round leader of Burns, as he might scorch the first round, go right ahead.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that whatsoever. But his strokes gain total last 3, 8.8, 4.3, and then 11.1 last week at US Open. So that's always very, very encouraging. And the last 2 tournaments, his approach game has been so bad, but his putting around the green and then strokes gain tee to green has been elite. So sometimes, you can make things work. And this is a course that I think you can get away with bombing it at some points. So some over some trees. So I'm good with Sam Burns this week. He'll definitely get last.
I'm actually going against him in a tourney matchup.
Who?
Well, you're going to like, I don't know if you'll actually like it, but you're on both guys. I like Connors over Burns.
Connors or Burns, yeah. I'm good with either one.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'd rather have Burns with an outright, but Connors, top 10.
No, that's fair. Yeah, 100%. Connors can't win this. Yeah.
You got any other outrights?
Yeah, I talked about him already. I mean, it's just kind of I had 45-1. I think he's 40 now. I mean, I got to go Brian Harman. I don't know if it's tough. I mean, he did win an Open major. I just don't know if he can kind of beat a signature event field like this, but it's hard to pass up the course history. There's few and far between guys who just absolutely love a course. I think the ones this week you really can look at with course histories: Keegan, Harmon, and Cantley. And I just love Harmon this week. It's just perfect for the guy. So I could see him in contention and maybe grabbing a win. So
I hope he's not, because I would much rather not watch him this all day long on Sunday.
Yeah, that would suck, but
No, but I don't blame you here for taking Harmon. All right, my last one then. Well, I've already talked to him about him, and I'm going to take Finau to outright win, plus 3,000. I'm going with 2-3 plus 3,000, then a long shot, and I'm going to sprinkle and see if anybody else throughout the tournament who are above them, Scotty, Xander, Colin. If anybody falls down, maybe sprinkle them if they get a better number there. But yeah, Finau. I've already talked about him. I'm going to go with him. Finau, Burns, and then Tom Hoagie as the long shot.
Mm-hmm.
What are your opinions on Scotty and Xander this week? I know we really talk about. I'm not going to take Scotty. We'll take Xander top 10 if I get a plus number throughout the week.
Yeah.
What do you think about those two?
Yeah, I mean Xander's won here, so I don't mind him again. He actually I don't think he putted I mean, the funny thing about Xander, he got a top 10 last week, and he was horrible off the tee, and he couldn't make a putt. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, his approach is coming in on fire, so that's a good recipe here. If putts drop, I mean, we could see him winning again. So I like Xander. We know he's a good putter, so I think last week was a bad week for him, and he still got a top 10. So there's nothing to worry about there. Scotty, I think he obviously bounces back. His game travels everywhere, so it's not like you're like, oh, fade Scotty. I think he'll bounce back and obviously be in contention, so and get back to the top 8 finish like he always does.
Yeah, they even made him even more reasonably priced on DK. He was 13,000 last week, which was again way too low, and now he's 12.5. So I mean, they don't have the 5,000 guys anymore, so it's a little bit better pricing. But last week it was so soft that you could play Scotty whenever. So like in my eyes, I mean, it made too much sense to play him and have some value. And it ended up burning me, but I mean, I think I'd play that over and over again because it was just like the pricing is so far off.
Mm-hmm.
This week it's a little bit better, but it's a little bit less expensive, so it's similar. All right, so let's get to some tournament matchups, and we'll get up on out of here. You already talked about one. You said Connors over Burns at minus 130. What about? There you go. I can do Finau over Fleetwood. We haven't talked about Fleetwood at all, which is surprising.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really look into him this week. I mean, I think I'm like mixed on him. He obviously, let me see what he's kind of done here. But
wow, here, let's go. Let's go right on the Harmon train for you. Let's go Harmon over Henley plus 105.
Well, I had that one locked in already, so you read my mind there.
There you go.
I will say that's one guy people are hammering Henley this week, like absolutely hammering him. And I love that because I think I'm fading him. I know we're going Cantley, who's contended, but Henley also contended. I think he's going to not play well. I mean, I think he'll play okay, but I don't think he contends at all this week. I love a fade of Henley this week. Could be wrong, but I love it.
Yeah. No, I'm good with that. What do you think about JT this week? He almost made my top 20 card. He almost did. I kind of want to take him over Fitzpatrick minus 120. But please talk some sense into me about JT.
Yeah, I'll talk some sense into you. You can't touch that guy with anything, right? You can't do it. Even if he gets top 20, it's going to be a sweat of a top 20 because this man is just all over the place. I watched a little bit of his round Thursday, Friday. I mean, he's genuinely lost. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just him and Spieth, man. You can't bet these guys. I haven't bet Spieth once this year. I bet JT once at the Waste Management, and I'm content with that.
Yeah, it is flip a coin. I mean, we just do not know what we're getting with him. And my optimistic ass said, "Hey, you know what? Let's get ahead of the crowd and try to do that." And then I talked some sense to myself. And I said, "No, I'm not doing JT whatsoever." Right. But he is top 10 in strokes gained approach. But if you want to take a flyer, go ahead. He's 13% owned in DK, which surprises me. I don't think he should be that high. And he's 8,500. And I think people around him, what is it? Where is he at? He's got Thigala, Bradley, Henley, Connors, Harmon, Spieth, Tom Kim. So, I mean, I'm obviously would pivot to Connors, some Henley, some Bradley over him. But that's just me.
I like another one I liked Keegan Bradley. I know you like Siwoo, but Keegan Bradley plus 110 over Siwoo. That's some value. I think that I don't know why Siwoo's a heavy favorite there. I don't mind Siwoo this week from what you talked about, but I don't know, that's plus money, and I like that a lot.
Don't mind it. Then a couple more I got. Tom Kim over Sung Jae. I'll take that. Sung Jae.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I took his outright last week, and I just wanted to throw up in my mouth. I was just trying to find some type of value, and I'm like, that was so bad, just so bad. Yeah. He had no shot, absolutely zero
shot. Yeah.
70-1, just pissed down. I should have just literally wiped my ass with the money that I threw away.
It would have been better. Yeah. You can't touch that guy either.
A lot more useful, that's for sure. All right, let's see if I got one more in me. Well, let's just talk about this guy, because I think I've seen a lot of people trying to go back to him. Is Wyndham Clark. What do you think of him this week? I'm not on him whatsoever, so that means he's going to be a top 10. You should play him top 10, but I can't play the guy.
No, I've watched a lot of them last week because I had Keegan over him, which cashed. Wyndham shot 7 over Sunday. That dude is not even because I think he's overrated. You can't touch that guy right now. He is lost. He back to same old Wyndham Clark. He had one good year, and everyone's like, he's amazing. He's lost. Like, he's just not chipping it well, not putting it well. He's kind of like doesn't really have his fade off the tee. I mean, I don't like him this week at all. I don't know.
I was watching the coverage, and I think it was either Saturday or Sunday, and I think he was kind of in the mix or whatnot.
He was, and then he just blew up. Yeah.
Well, and then they were like, they were talking about some people with like a sports psychologist or sports therapist or whatever the hell it was, and like they were like, what kind of cues did he tell you? And he was like, well, I can't tell you all of them. like some like secret. And he's like, well, I'll tell you one. It's about process. I was like, whoa. That guy gets paid a lot of money to tell you it's about the damn process. It's good for you, but I can tell you that right here, right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this guy's so fucked.
Yeah, I don't think he's in a good place really right now. I wouldn't touch him at all. I mean, we'll see where he doesn't really have any form. I don't think he should be going to Paris either. I think it should be Bryson, but he made the Olympic team. Good for him. So
that's another topic for another.
That is another topic. We'll get to that another time when it gets there.
All right, so we got our outrights, we got our tournament matchups here. So if you do have any other questions, let us know in the comments on YouTube, and if not, hit us up on X at .bets at Bet with the Boys Golf. Make sure you guys check out all of our content over on X, and then join the Discord if you guys want some round by round matchups by both of us here. So yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And we'll be back next week. What the hell is next week? I never know.
Next week's Rocket Mortgage in Detroit.
Mortgage, yeah. Okay. So we'll be back. We'll probably go on a Tuesday, but we will let you guys know. But we, again, appreciate you guys tuning in each and every week. We'll be back next week, and let's cash some tickets. See you guys.
Peace.